What is it?
It's brandy to calm your nerves.
Oh, nothing will calm my nerves right now.
Why don't you tell me what happened in Chris Shaw's office?
Because I don't know what happened.
I think you have a pretty good idea. Mr. Shaw was dead, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
And you think Dennis killed him, don't you?
Good evening, top of the World Club.
Alfredo, it's Paige.
Mrs. Carrington, I'm sorry you were feeling ill this evening. I hope you're better.
A little bit, thank you. How's everything going tonight?
Well, there weren't as many people here as usual because of the weather, but things went fine.
Good, I'm glad to hear it. Alfredo,
Yes, Mrs. Carrington?
if anyone asks about me, I've been in my suite all night, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
You all right, sugar, huh?
I want to get out of here.
We will, hon. Real soon.
Billy Joe? I don't want to have to see him lying there.
It's all right, honey. They took him over to the morgue.
Hello, Donovan.
How's it going, Frank?
Oh, we're just about ready to wrap it up.
Well, you two have a real knack for finding dead bodies.
Where's Rena?
Oh, well, Jeb sent her home after we got Steve off the bed.
Is any word about Ginny?
No. We're covering a pretty wide range, but we'll just have to keep on looking.
Listen, there's a shack that's down on a passage.
Yeah, we looked. Hello, Max. Kate. Jeb called me.
No one's found me by now. They never will. Oh, God. What am I going to do now?
Texas, starring Beverly McKenzie.
Ryan might be able to help us find Ginny. I mean, if they were engaged, maybe there's some places that he was with her that we don't know about or something, you know?
Kate, look, if you don't want me to be here,
If you can be of any help, you're welcome.
Okay, thanks. Where have you been looking, huh?
Well, Harley Brooks, he's got a bunch of the boys in there, they're searching out around the north countryside there, you know, where all the rugged ground and the brush is.
Yeah, have you seen any clues?
No. Listen, do you know maybe any special place that Ginny used to like to walk?
Yeah, you know that path through the woods that borders on the north pasture leads to the Colemans?
No, we already looked there.
Ryan, do you know of any other spot that Ginny was particularly fond of?
Well, about a mile before you get to the Colemans, there's this dry bed where the stream used to run. She used to like to take that detour.
That's real good. I'll tell Harley right now.
Guess you You already checked the hills, did you?
Yeah, there's guys up there right now looking.
How's Steve doing, huh?
Well, poor Charles worn out with worrying and searching. We finally got him upstairs to bed.
Kate, look, you look a little tired yourself. Why don't you go and try and get some sleep and let you know if we hear anything, okay?
All right, I will.
Okay. Did you say anything to upset Ginny that would make her run away?
Vivian, don't say that again.
If Dennis did kill Mr. Shaw...
We don't know who killed him. Neither of us was in the room when it happened.
Mrs. Wheeler, I saw Mr. Shaw lying on the floor. And Dennis was the only other person in that room.
Dennis was unconscious.
That's-
I won't allow you to talk about this anymore.
I'm just concerned about Dennis.
I know, Vivian, I know. We both are. But let me do the thinking for us.
Do you think I should call Mr. Wheeler at his
No,
hotel?
Mr. Wheeler mustn't know anything about this.
Well, you're going to need some help.
I can take care of this.
Mrs. Wheeler, the police are going to find that body sooner or later, and then they're going to start asking questions.
There's no way to connect Dennis with what happened.
How can you say that, Mrs. Wheeler? Dennis's car was parked out in front.
When Dennis arrived, I'm sure there were lots of cars parked out front. After all, that place is a public establishment of sorts. I doubt that anyone would remember Dennis's car amongst all the
Well,
others.
what about your car, Mrs. Wheeler? People who go to the co-op drive pickup trucks.
When we pulled in there, that parking lot was deserted. So you see, there's nothing to worry about.
I wish I could be as sure of that as you are.
All we have to do now is make sure that Dennis understands the delicacy of the situation.
Do you think he might not want to go along with you?
Well, he tends to get honorable at the wrong time. But I think I'll be able to convince him.
Oh, Mrs. Wheeler.
What is it now?
The fingerprints. What about fingerprints? I bet you Dennis's fingerprints are all over that place.
No, they're not. I've taken care of everything. No one will ever know that Dennis was in that office.
Look, Donovan, we don't like this any more than you do.
No, I'm sure you don't.
It just feels like some kind of bad luck's been dogging our tails.
I want you to tell me exactly what happened.
Well, Elena came in here to talk to Mr. Shaw about changing her showtime schedule, and she found him dead.
Were you with her?
No, I heard her scream, and then I came right in. That's when I saw him.
Mm-hmm. Were either of you going near the body?
We didn't touch nothing.
What did you see when you came in?
I saw Mr. Shaw on the floor, dead.
Was he in the same position as what we found him in?
I told you we didn't touch nothing.
I'm asking the lady. It's okay, the body's gone.
Yeah, he was there.
Are you sure he was dead?
He looked dead. Wasn't moving.
Okay, get your things together.
What for?
We told you everything we know already.
I'm taking you down to the station for further questioning.
I don't think Ginny has run away.
You know, what makes you so sure about that?
Well, she's not the sort of person to do that kind of thing. Ginny wouldn't run away from a problem no matter what it was. That's what worries me.
Okay, look, what did you two talk about when you saw her today?
That's between Ginny and me.
No, right now it's a concern of all of ours. Now, you said something to upset her, now didn't you?
No, I think Barrett's taken care of that. But Jeb, can you tell me, what's Barrett been doing to her, huh?
What did Ginny tell you?
Well, she was kind of vague. She was talking about his mood changes and how it was affecting Steve.
Yeah, it's been real tough on the kid.
I know I asked Kate, how is Steve taking it anyway, huh?
Ginny is his whole world. How would you take it?
Yeah. Oh. Ginny did tell me that Barrett followed her into town and saw us at the top of the World Club.
Did you ask Ginny to leave Barrett again?
Yeah, but she refused. Yeah, she said she's going to do everything she can to make her marriage work. See, she seems to feel right now that if she left Barrett, it might destroy him.
Yeah, you're She's right about that.
Listen, has Kate called Barrett and told him that Ginny was missing?
She hasn't been able to reach him.
Listen, if she does reach him and Barrett decides to come back early, just let me know so I can get out of here, okay? Last thing we need is for Barrett to see me here, right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Hey, Jeb.
Yeah, well.
I know Ginny's frightened for Barrett, but, is she frightened of him?
Yes.
Are you saying that you wiped Dennis's fingerprints off of everything in that room?
I had to make certain there was no trace of Dennis's having been there.
Mrs. Wheeler, that's illegal.
Illegal or not, I've done it.
But you can't.
I don't want to hear any more about this.
Mrs. Wheeler, if the police find out about this, that makes you an accomplice to the crime.
The police aren't going to find out, are they? Go to him.
Dennis! Dennis, you're supposed to be upstairs asleep. Oh, easy.
Sleep.
Hold on. Dennis, you're supposed to be going upstairs. Please, come on now.
Terrible dream. What am I doing here?
I can't stay here.
Why don't you take Billy Joe down the hall to your office until we're ready?
Where are you going?
Just down the hall, sugar. It's gonna be all right.
Well, I'm not going to stay here without you.
Elena, they have to question us separately. That's how they do things around here.
Then I'm leaving too.
Elena, honey, will you sit down? Calm down. Donovan, don't you understand she's real upset, huh?
Well, I don't doubt it. Finding two bodies inside of a few weeks.
Now, don't you start jumping to conclusions now.
Well, you've got to admit it is quite a coincidence.
And that's exactly what it is, a coincidence. We both were using Bernie's trailer. That's why we found him there. And Chris owned the coop where we worked, and that's why we found him. Now, don't try to make something more out of this than there is.
Frank, get him out of here.
Let's go, right?
It's gonna be all right, honey. All you gotta do is just answer all the questions truthfully, all right? You're gonna be okay.
Ricky.
You okay? Well, how'd you find out about this so fast?
Billy Joe called me from the coop.
I thought Elena might need him. You'll be okay now, sugar. Everything's gonna be all right. Now, you just remember, I'm gonna be right down the hall.
Oh, will you be okay?
Me? Sure. I got nothing to hide.
You mind if I stay here with my sister?
It's okay with me, so long as you don't prompt her.
I'll keep my thoughts to myself. You tell Detective Donovan exactly what happened tonight.
I don't remember.
What do you mean you don't remember?
She might be in shock, Donovan.
Elena, Billy Joe said you went into Chris's office to talk to him about changing the showtime.
Yeah, it's all a little foggy. I remember that.
Did you see anyone strange in the coop this afternoon?
Strange. No, not that I recall.
Was the back door to Chris's office open or closed? Was the light on or was the office dark?
I don't know!
Well, did you turn on the light when you went in?
No! I don't think so.
Did you hear any noise coming out of the office before you went in?
Look, Detective Donovan, the only thing that I heard was the radio. Billy Joe and he talked to Roy. But I don't remember what that was about.
How'd you feel about Chris Shaw?
He was creepy and scary. But Billy Joe said that he would take care of me.
What did he mean by that?
Well, he meant that he would do all the talking to Mr. Shaw, so I wouldn't have to.
Did you ever argue with him?
Well, sure, Billy Joe and I argued all the time, but...
No. I'm talking about Chris. Did you and Chris ever argue?
No. Like I told you, I never had very much to do with him. Billy Joe did all the talking.
But you went in to talk to him this afternoon. Now, why was that?
I don't know. I can't think straight.
Donovan, my sister is very upset.
I can see that.
Yeah, well, maybe if you lay off her for a little while.
I need some answers now. She's gonna have to settle down and give me some. Look, Elena, a man was murdered today at the coop. You were there, and you found the body. Now, I've got to know some answers.
Donovan, wait a minute. You don't think that Elena knows anything about Chris's death, do you?
Well, if she doesn't, she'd better start answering some questions.
Steve?
I didn't want you to see that I've been crying.
Hey, it's all right to cry, big fella. Especially when you're scared and upset.
I'm scared I'll never see Mom again.
I wish I could call your mom into the room right now.
But you can't. Nobody can.
Listen, we can't give up hope.
I wonder where she could be. My mind keeps coming up with all these awful things that could have happened to her. What happened if the creek bed overflowed where she takes that shortcut?
Hey, now we can't let our imaginations take over. We're all still looking.
Everybody's looked so hard. I just don't think...
Listen, just remember that your mom is a smart lady. And she's real pretty and all, but well, she's lived in this ranch a whole lot of years, and she can take care of herself.
She just came out of the hospital, and she's gonna have a baby.
Hey, listen, she's real tough, too. Gotta remember that, okay?
Are the guys still looking?
Yes. And they'll keep on looking till they find her.
Maybe I should go and help.
No. What you gotta do is get some sleep.
I don't think I can.
Yes, you can. Come on now, just lay down. Close your eyes. Think about tomorrow.
Max?
And everything tomorrow will look a whole lot better when the sun comes up.
Max?
Hmm?
Will you promise me that you'll find my mom?
Yeah. I promise that I'll keep on looking till I do find her. Now, you go to sleep, okay?
Let me see. Ooh, Dennis. Drink this, it'll help you sleep.
I'm not sure I want to go back to sleep.
What was your dream about, darling?
It's not very clear. I was lying on the floor.
Where was this?
Someplace I've never been before. An office.
Was there anyone else in the dream?
Yes. Someone was there. Someone in the office with me. I don't know. I couldn't see the face.
Are you all right?
Hit my head somewhere, but I don't know where.
Darling, why don't you drink this milk while it's still warm? Then you should go back upstairs.
What am I doing here?
You and Paige had a fight, so naturally you came here. You'd had a little too much to drink, which might account for some of your headache. When you got here, Vivian and I put you to bed.
What did Paige and I fight about?
I don't know. You weren't in any condition to explain.
Why? Is it all so hazy?
Honey, don't think about it now. Just go back upstairs and try to get some sleep.
Your mother's right, Dennis. Come on, let's get going.
You'll feel much better in the morning.
Boy.
Thanks, Mom. Vivian, I make it myself.
Okay. Sleep well, darling.
Thank goodness we got through that.
Oh, well, what about tomorrow morning, Mrs. Wheeler? What if Dennis remembers everything and wants to go to the police?
I'll cross that bridge when I come to it.
You feeling better?
No, not really. I don't think I will till I get out of here.
Well, we'll be going as soon as they finish up with Billy Joe.
I don't understand why Detective Donovan thinks that Billy Joe is a suspect.
Because Billy Joe had a reason to kill Chris.
What reason?
If Chris found out that Billy Joe was the one who tipped off the police to that porno raid.
You think he did that?
I'm just telling you what the police might be thinking.
No, I know Billy Joe better than that, and he wouldn't do anything like that. And besides, Chris didn't figure that it was Billy Joe who told the police. He thought it was one of his cameramen.
Well, if Chris did figure it was Billy Joe and he and Billy Joe fought...
No, I would have known if that had happened. Ricky, I spent almost all of my time with Billy Joe. I know everything about him. Almost.
Yeah, well, it's that almost that matters. You know, there's some things that a person doesn't tell anybody else.
Why is Detective Donovan asking me all these questions about Bernie Stokes? I thought I answered all those questions when Bernie was killed.
Well, one of the theories might be that there's a connection between both murders.
Do you think there is?
Well, sure. The same guy could have easily killed them both. I'm sure that Bernie knew a lot of Chris's friends.
Yeah, and that reminds me, Ricky, you weren't supposed to say anything to Donovan about the money that was on Bernie.
I'm sorry, Elena, but I had an obligation to tell Donovan everything that I know about Bernie, including the fact that he had $20,000 on him the day he was killed. Not to mention the fact that they never found the money on the body.
Maybe he was murdered for that money?
Maybe. Or because of the source of the money.
What do you mean?
Well, the police seem to think that Bernie might have been involved in selling drugs. And Chris Shaw, for that matter, too.
Are the police, just guessing about that, or do they know for sure?
Right now, they're just guessing. Have you heard anything about any drugs around the coop?
Hey, you want something to eat? I'm drinking an awful lot of coffee.
No, I'm not hungry. Thanks.
How are you two holding up?
Oh, we're not bad.
I don't believe it from the looks of you. Now, why don't you go upstairs and try to get some sleep? You've been up all night.
I can't sleep until I find Ginny.
Do me a favor. Just go upstairs and lie down. You don't have to sleep.
What are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to take your place and keep Ryan company.
Okay. But look, if you guys hear anything, you let me know right away, okay?
I will. You look exhausted, too. Why don't you go on back to Houston and get some rest?
No, I'm not really that tired. Besides, I called the World Oil office this morning and told them to send out a helicopter to help us in the search. I'm going to go up with them.
I thought the sheriff was going to conduct the air search.
Well, I called the sheriff about 10 minutes ago, and he said their chopper wouldn't be ready until noon. I don't want to wait that long.
Mm-hmm. First time I ever saw you, you were landing that chopper out on my front lawn.
I remember.
Seems a long time ago now.
Yeah. Where's Steve, anyway, huh?
I think he went down to the stable to check the horses.
Feel sorry for him. This must be awfully hard on him.
It's been hard on all of us. Where's Max?
Well, he left about 20 minutes ago. He went home to change. He should be right back.
Oh, well, at least it stopped raining.
Well, that's good. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to take the chopper up.
Grandma? Ryan.
Hi, Courtney.
Has anyone heard anything yet?
No. Do you want some coffee, honey?
No, thank you. Did you get any sleep?
Oh, off and on.
Oh, Grandma, I wish you would let me come out here last night.
Now, there was no reason for you to drive out here at midnight. Everything that can be done's being done. Now, Jeb and Ryan stayed up all night.
Where's Jeb now?
I sent him upstairs to lie down. Hopefully, he's getting some sleep.
Listen, Kate, I'm going to go check with Harley. Maybe some of the guys need some more coffee.
Grandma, does Ryan's being here bother you?
Whatever I feel, I can't refuse his concern for Ginny. Not at a time like this.
Well, has anyone heard from Barrett or talked to Barrett?
No, I haven't had any luck reaching him.
Well, wait a minute. Didn't he tell you that he was going to be staying at a motel right outside of Laredo?
Yes. And I just feel terrible because I think I misunderstood the name.
Well, he was supposed to be looking at some stock at nearby ranches.
Well, I called the 2 ranches that I know out there. No one's seen him. I just don't know where he is.
Darling, how do you feel this morning?
Like I got hit by a truck.
You had a great deal to drink last night.
Yes, I must have.
Dennis, have I got a great breakfast in store for you? Grits, eggs,
Oh, listen,
sausage.
thanks, Vivian, but I don't think I'm going to be able to eat anything this morning.
You need your nourishment.
Vivian will be very disappointed.
Well, that's very nice, Vivian, but I don't think I'd be able to keep it down.
Would you like some coffee?
No. But I would like to know how I got here last night.
I told you, but you probably don't remember.
Well, I remember that you said that I came here after I got into a fight with Paige.
That's right.
But I also remember going to the coop to see Chris Shaw. Isn't that strange?
Yes, very.
The only thing is I don't remember leaving his office. Or how I got from there to here. What is it?
Nothing. You must have managed because here you are.
No. Something's going on here.
Dennis, don't be silly. What could be going on? You're simply hungover.
Come on, Mom. I know you. You're trying to hide something.
All right. You're going to find out sooner or later. It's in all the papers.
What are you talking about?
Chris Shaw is dead. He was murdered last night.
Who is it?
Police. Ah, Mrs. Carrington, we meet again.
What do you want?
I came here to talk to you about your friend, Chris Shaw.
I thought we'd taken care of that a couple of weeks ago when I came down to the station, Detective.
Oh, well, this is a different matter. You see, this time Chris Shaw has been murdered. We had a little trouble tracking you down, Mrs. Carrington. There's no answer at your apartment.
I don't live there anymore, Detective.
Yeah, that's what we discovered. One of the employees at the Top of the World Club was kind enough to tell us that you were living in Alex Wheeler's suite.
My husband and I have separated.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Recently?
I don't feel that my personal life is the affair of the police, Detective.
Oh, sometimes it has a bearing. You don't seem very upset by the news of Chris's death.
Chris and I weren't very close.
Well, still, you must be a bit surprised.
I might have been, if I hadn't read it in the morning newspaper.
What? Oh. Well, then you were expecting me.
On the contrary, Detective, your visit was the furthest thing from my mind.
You knew Chris Shaw in Hollywood, is that right?
That's right.
How'd you meet him?
Like anyone meets anyone in Hollywood through mutual friends.
Any of these mutual friends here in Houston now?
Not that I know of.
Do you know what Chris Shaw did for a living?
Sure. He ran the coop.
Are you aware of any other sidelines he might have had?
No, I'm not. I don't know why you're asking me these questions, Detective.
We're trying to get some information.
Well, you're asking the wrong person. I've already told you, Chris and I weren't good friends.
This is a murder investigation, Mrs. Carrington. Now, as part of the investigation, we've got to question everyone connected with the crime.
That hardly includes me.
Is there some reason why you'd rather not answer any questions?
No. No, I'm sorry. It's just that I haven't felt very well the last couple of days. That's why I wasn't at the club last night. I didn't sleep very well. I'm a little touchy.
I'm sorry to hear that. Well, actually, we've asked pretty much all the questions we need to right now. But we'll be talking to you again. Oh, you will let me know if you move again, huh?
I intend to stay here a while, Detective, but if I leave, I'll tell you about it.
Oh. There is one more thing.
Yes?
Where were you last night between 8 o'clock and midnight?
Right here in my suite.
Anyone with you?
No. But my maitre d' Alfredo can vouch for me. I talked to him several times during the evening.
I see. You understand we'll have to check that out.
Surely I am not a suspect, Detective Donovan.
Until the murder is solved, everyone is a suspect. Good day, Mrs. Carrington.
Whitney?
Hi, Jeb.
Kate told me you were here.
Did you get any sleep?
No, I couldn't. I'm trying to figure out where Ginny is.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah. I guess you gotta get back to the clinic soon, huh?
No, Bart's covering for me.
Did you find another doctor to work there yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah. I guess you're still pretty busy then, huh?
Jeb, does my being here make you feel that uncomfortable?
It's your house, too.
Yeah, I know, but you live here, too,
Hey,
and I...
hey. It's fine.
I'd like to see more of you, Jeb.
I thought your career took up pretty much of your time.
Well, it does, but I thought things were going pretty well the way that they were.
No, things were not going pretty well the way they were.
I love you, Jeb.
But not enough to marry me, though, huh?
But that doesn't mean that we
Listen,
can't...
what that means is that you told me to hit the road, So it's about time that I get on with my own life, Hey, if you want to be a part of that life as my wife, that's fine. That's terrific. And if not, Courtney, we're going to just end it, now.
Well, I'll see that you get your ring back.
I don't want my ring back. It's yours. I gave it to you. But I'm not going to hang around, waiting for you to figure out whether or not you want to marry me or not.
I know.
It's not fair, Not fair to either one of us.
I'm sorry, Jeb.
So am I. Right now, I gotta find Ginny.
Oh, you mean the helicopter? Yeah, they're here for me.
No, not that. Over in the storm cellar.
What is it?
Help me! Please! Somebody get me out of here! Help me! Help me! I'm so tired. I can't stop now. But I'm so tired. Mom? Steve? Oh, Mom, Steve!
What did you just say?
Chris Shaw was murdered last night.
I better get back to work.
No, Vivi. I want
Wait a
you to
minute.
stay right here.
I don't understand. He was alive when I was there last night. That much I remember.
Dennis, you must forget all about going to see Chris last night.
What are you talking about?
No one should know you went to that bar.
Why? I have nothing to hide.
What must I do to make you understand, darling? A man was murdered last night. You will be blamed.
Why? Because I went to see him? Come on, Mom.
Darling, you didn't go there just to see him.
How did you know that?
You were in a rage the last time I saw you. You said you had a score to settle with Chris.
What? Wait a minute. You think I did it, don't you?
Dennis.
You think I murdered Chris Shaw?
Dennis, you were drunk. You didn't know what you were doing. You were terribly upset with Paige. You weren't thinking rationally.
Wait a minute. I remember. I went to talk with Chris.
Dennis.
We got into an argument.
Dennis, don't.
And then he said something. I grabbed him by the throat,
Don't
Mom.
do this to yourself.
And then I pushed him against the desk. I killed Chris. Yeah. I killed Chris Shaw.
Dennis, where are you going? Listen to me. Don't go out there. No, Dennis!
Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Texas.
Hello. Ellie? This is Dennis Carrington. Yeah, could I please speak to Stryker? I see. Well, could you have him call me as soon as he gets back in? Have him call me at the apartment. It's very important. Thanks.
Oh, Dennis, you had me so worried. Why did you go running off like that?
Mom, I had to get away. I had to think.
Well, at the moment, you can't be thinking very clearly.
Well, last night's events aren't too clear, but they're starting to come back.
We have to talk.
Look, right now, I don't want to talk.
Darling, look, I hope you're not planning to do anything foolish. Now, you can't tell anyone about last night.
Well, you're too late, Mom. I've already called Stryker.
How much does he know?
Nothing yet, but as soon as he calls back, I'm going to tell him everything.
No, you can't do that, Dennis. There's too much at stake. You have to call him back, tell him it was a mistake, that you don't need to talk to him after all.
No, Mom, I can't do that.
You have to. If you don't, you will be making a terrible mistake.
I've already made that mistake, Mom. I murdered a man.
Hello? Oh, Vivian, is Iris back yet?
No, Mrs. Decker, I'm sorry. Mrs. Wheeler is still out. Can I take a message?
When do you expect her?
I don't know.
Now, Vivian, you must have some idea.
I don't. Not any more than all the other times that you called.
I don't mean to bother you, Vivian, dear, but it's very important that I see Iris.
I just don't know how I could help.
Okay, I'm coming over and I'm going to wait for her there.
All right, Mrs. Decker.
Bye, Vivian.
Hi, honey. Hallie said you were here.
Daddy, if someone were threatening me and I killed them, maybe accidentally, could you keep me from going to jail?
Honey, you haven't eaten anything on your plate.
Oh, I'm not hungry, sugar.
I fixed you another taco. Usually gone through about 3 by now.
We'll save it. I'll eat it later.
Honey, you still worried about last night?
Yeah.
You better go to bed and get yourself some rest. You didn't come in from the police station till about 4 o'clock in the morning. Then I don't think you slept a wink.
I couldn't sleep now, Nita.
Come on. Billy Joe Jr.'s daddy needs to take better care of himself.
Well, Billy Joe Jr.'s daddy's going to do just fine.
Oh. Wish there's something I could do.
Damn it, Nita. Damn it. They think I'm a suspect. They think I murdered Chris Shaw.
Jenny, are you sure you don't want anything else?
Oh, thank you, Kate, but I've really had plenty.
You had almost 24 hours in that storm cellar.
Well, I wasn't in any danger of starving, though.
Did you get any sleep?
No, not much. I know someone who could use a nap.
Not me.
I don't think a nice soft bed with clean sheets would hurt you either.
What I really need is some fresh air. Being closed in like that.
Were you scared, Mom?
I'm fine now, thanks to my rescuer.
Ryan opened the door.
Yes, I know that, honey.
Jenny, I really wish you'd go upstairs and get some sleep. If you want some fresh air, you can open the windows.
Is everything all right in here, Jenny?
Just fine, Jeb. The rescue party's all been called back.
Yeah, they're coming in from the hills right now.
You know, I really should go down to the bunkhouse and thank them.
Jenny, I really, really wish you'd get some sleep. You know, there'd be plenty of time for that later.
Well, all right, you're the doctor. I will follow your prescription and go up and take a nap.
I'll come with you, Mom.
Courtney, well, thank you for being here.
I'm just really glad you're safe. Sure.
Texas, starring Beverly McKenzie.
I didn't realize you were still here.
Yeah, I've been out with a helicopter. How you feeling now, huh?
Between Kate's cooking and everybody fussing over me, I'm almost 100%.
Courtney, how's the medical report? Huh?
Oh, I think she's going to be just fine.
And the baby?
Well, the fetal heartbeat's nice and strong. I don't think there's anything to worry about.
Is the helicopter still here?
No, I'm afraid the pilot had to take it back to the airfield.
Oh.
Hey, I'm sorry, Steve. Should have kept it here and taken you for a ride, huh?
That's all right.
Some other time, okay?
Okay.
I'm sure glad you're all right.
Ryan, would you like a cup of coffee?
No, thanks, Kate. I better not. Have to be getting back to town.
Is there room in the helicopter for 4 people?
Well, there sure is. Why?
Well, I was thinking maybe we could take Buddy along.
Well, I don't see why not.
Well, you two are discussing your aerial adventures. I think I'll go get some fresh air.
Jenny?
Courtney, I'm going to be all right. I'm just going out on the front porch.
Okay.
Take care of yourself, okay?
Goodbye, Ryan. And thank you again.
Hey, Ryan. Thanks a lot.
Uh-huh.
I appreciate your help.
Thank you, Jen.
Hey, Ryan, can you stay for lunch?
Well, I'm afraid not, Steve. There's a lot of unfinished business back there at World Oil.
Well, you have to eat, and if you stay, I can show you the new fall.
Wow. Well, I sure wish I could. Okay, now, but only for an hour, no more, all right?
Why on earth would you ask a question like that?
Just wondering.
About committing a murder? Come on, honey. A thought like that just doesn't come off the top of your head.
Well, Daddy, you know, sometimes you read stories and you wonder, I wonder if
Rena.
that happened.
Did you ask this question because of Chris Shaw's death? Now, don't be surprised. The newspaper said your sister-in-law, Elena Decker, discovered the body. Now, Max must be pretty upset.
It's a terrible thing, Daddy.
Yes, it is, but no need for him to be upset. Just because she found the body doesn't mean she's actually a suspect.
I'm glad to hear that.
You want me to call the DA and see what he knows about the case?
Oh, no, that won't be necessary.
Yeah, but Max is upset about it.
Max doesn't even know about it. He's been out looking for Ginny Marshall, and he hasn't had time to read the paper. At least he hadn't when I left the ranch.
If you're not here about Elena, just exactly why did you come into town?
I just wanted to see you, Daddy.
That's very nice, but I thought it might be something else. You still want to sell those stocks?
No, I've changed my mind on that.
Your friend doesn't need the money anymore?
No, not anymore.
Do you mind telling me what that was all about?
Daddy, do you know if Mike Marshall ever did a survey to find out if there was oil on the Marshall Ranch?
You are the second person this week to ask me that question.
Who else wanted to know?
Justin.
Oh?
Do you mind telling me what's going on?
I don't believe you killed Chris Shaw. I don't believe you could kill anyone.
I was angry and I was drunk, Mom. I could have done anything.
That's exactly my point. You were drunk. You were so drunk that Vivian and I could hardly hold you up. Believe me, Dennis, you were in no condition to kill someone.
Yeah, well, I remember fighting with Chris.
That doesn't prove you killed him.
The man is dead. I just wish I could remember.
But you can't remember. You see, that's why you mustn't talk with the police or Stryker or anyone else.
You're asking me to hide the evidence.
What evidence? You didn't see anything.
Mom, I was at the scene of the crime.
Darling, all I'm asking you to do is wait. Let the police do their job.
If the police do their job, it's going to lead straight to me.
You don't know that. What if they find the killer? If they do, you will have involved yourself for nothing.
Mom, I am involved, whether you like it or not. Now, if I don't go to them, they're going to come to me, and that's going to be worse. Now, that's why I called Stryker. He's an attorney. He knows how to handle these situations.
Dennis, if you go to Stryker, it will be the biggest mistake of your life. Now, listen to me. Once you tell him that you were there in Chris's office, he will be forced to go to the police. And once he does that, the police will stop looking for the real killer.
Mom, I have got to tell the truth.
Not yet, Dennis. There will be plenty of time for that later. Right now, I'm asking you to wait. Just wait and see what happens.
You're being too hard on yourself. You are not a suspect. I read this paper all the way through this morning, and it hardly even mentions you.
You weren't at the police station last night. You didn't hear those kinds of questions that Donovan was tossing at me. I'm a suspect, all right, sweetheart. Oh, yeah, I'm a suspect. You better believe it. They're going to try to pin this thing on me if they can.
Now, why would they want to do something like that?
Because I've got a record. The cops are always looking for an easy way out, and there's nothing easier than finding some ex-con who's done a couple years in Huntsville. You just wait and see.
I think you're just taking this too far.
It ain't just the police. It's Maggie and Ricky and a whole lot of them, and they're just waiting to pounce on me.
How's Elena doing?
Not too good.
Poor kid. This is the second time this has happened to her.
Yeah. Her nerves aren't holding out too good. It couldn't have happened at a worse time.
Because the record.
Yeah, it's just about to hit the market. Her career's all set to take off, and now this has to happen.
You know, honey, I've been wondering.
About what?
Maybe Chris Shaw's murder is some way connected to Bernie's.
Now, what makes you ask that?
Well, it's logical, isn't it? Bernie did work for Chris Shaw, didn't he?
Look, Nita, I don't want to think about it, all right? I mean, that sort of thing, leave it to the cops, all right? Look, I'll get that. Just wait here, sweetheart. Just hope it ain't Donovan again.
Probably Maggie with a search party for me. I am so late to work.
Hi, Billy Joe. Can I come in?
Well, of course.
No. Honey, are you all right?
No, not really. Nina, I don't think I could stay in that apartment anymore, not by myself.
Well, you don't have to. We're right here. That's what friends are for.
I'm sorry, Nina, and I'm sorry, Billy Joe.
Well, what for?
For fouling up everybody's lives. I mean, I really didn't mean it, but somehow everything just got all messed up.
Darling, that's not true. Come on.
Of course it isn't. You couldn't help what happened.
No, Max is right. Maybe I am just no good.
Hey, come on, slow down. You're just going to get yourself all bent out of shape. Now, come on over here. Come on. Just relax, huh?
Oh, I gotta get back to Maggie's. Elena, you gonna be okay?
Yeah, I think so, Nita.
Well, yeah, sure she is. Anita's got some tea on the stove. We're going to sit down and talk this whole thing out.
Better keep an eye on her. I mean, she was really scared.
Oh, yeah, I will, sweetheart. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye, Elena.
Bye, Nita. What time did you get home from the police station last night?
A couple hours after you.
Did you get any sleep?
No.
Neither did I. Every time I closed my eyes, Billy Joe, I kept seeing that body lying
Listen,
there.
Elena, I know you're still upset and everything, but, well, we're going to have to get our story straight here.
You know, Daddy, Justin's working for World Oil now.
Yes, I know. I drew up the contract.
So he's looking for new sources of oil. Everyone's always said there's oil in that Marshall land.
Uh-huh. And just how does this interest you?
Daddy, if there's oil on the Marshall Ranch, then there may be oil on our property, too.
It doesn't matter. Kate wouldn't let him drill out there.
Max owns his own land. Kate can't tell him what to do. He did buy the mineral rights, too, didn't he?
Yes, but I'm sure that Kate sold them to him, knowing that he wouldn't drill for oil.
Suppose he wanted to. Would Kate stop him?
No, but she'd probably never talk to him again. But she couldn't stop him. Who put this idea in your head, Justin?
It's not such a bad idea, is it, Daddy?
Max might think it is.
I already asked Max to think about it, and he said he would.
Whew, it surprises me.
Well, maybe he's learning to compromise. You know, Daddy, if Max has his own money, all of our problems would be solved.
Don't you think you're oversimplifying a bit?
No. All of our arguments are over money. Me having it and Max not having it.
Well, that's true enough.
Daddy, don't you see? If there is oil on that land, we could
Hold
buy...
on, honey. Max hasn't agreed to drill for oil.
He might, if you put in a good word.
Oh, no, don't get me involved in this. This is your problem. You settle it.
What about the survey? Did Mike Marshall ever have one done?
He talked about it. Whether he ever had anything done about it, I can't say.
Where would the records be if he did have one done?
In his personal papers. Kate has them.
Well, if was a survey done, Kate probably burned the records. I gotta go, Daddy.
Hey, honey, why don't you call your mother or have lunch with her or something? She worries about you.
She doesn't have to worry about me. I'm just fine.
Rena.
All right. I'll call her at the end of the week. I promise.
She'll be happy to hear you're not liquidating $250,000 worth of stock.
Daddy, Mama thought that I dropped that notion long ago, so don't mention it to her, okay?
Dennis, you have to cancel that call to Stryker.
I can't, Mom. Even if I thought you were right, I can't. I'd probably strike her now.
Dennis, don't!
Hello.
Dennis, Stryker Bellman. Hallie said you called.
Yes, Stryker, I did.
She says rather important.
It is important.
I assume it's about your father.
Well,
What, did Elliot call you from Washington?
No, Stryker, he didn't.
Well, I talked to Colonel Austin and your father at the hospital, hoping to talk to Roger Williams.
I see.
The doctor thinks there's a chance that he'll regain consciousness, and Elliot wants to be there.
I understand.
I tried to call you early this morning to tell your father about your father being all right, but with no answer.
Well, I wasn't home, Stryker.
I tried to call you over to KVIK, and they didn't seem to know where you were.
Yeah, well, I haven't been feeling very well lately.
Oh, that's too bad. It's probably a virus, one of those 24-hour things.
Stryker,
Hey, Dennis, I tell you what, I got a great home cure. Of course, Vicky doesn't think it works, but if you don't get better soon, let me know.
I'll do that, Stryker.
And don't worry about your dad. Colonel Lawson took care of him.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Nice to talk to you, Dennis.
You won't regret this, Dennis. You did the right thing. Now we have some time to plan what we should do.
Or time for the police to discover that I'm the one that killed Chris Shaw.
What do you mean, get our story straight?
Just exactly that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about the fact that you were really acting strange last night, Elena.
I don't know what you mean, Billy Joe.
Come on, Elena, I know how you felt about Chris.
What are you saying?
I'm saying you wouldn't have gone into Chris's office unless you had a reason to.
Yeah, I had a reason. I already told you, Billy Joe. I wanted to talk to Chris. Now, I was trying to get him to move up the showtime so we could get out of the coop at a decent hour.
Yeah, that's what you told me. And that's what I told the cops. But I ain't so sure that I buy it, darling.
Yeah, but you remember how concerned I was about the showtimes?
Yeah.
I mean, it was all we talked about all night long, right?
Oh, yeah, we talked about it.
So, why don't you buy it?
Because I told you I'd take care of it already. There was no reason for you to go into Chris's office.
Yeah, but you did take care of it, Billy Joe. All you did was knock on the door.
And there wasn't any answer.
Yeah, well, I figured, or I thought maybe he came in a little later through the back door, so, I wanted to see for myself.
Elena, you better be telling me the truth about this. Because if you aren't, we're both in a lot of trouble.
Why? Why are we in trouble?
Because I know the cops. And the way that Donovan was handling us last night, I'm willing to bet we're his #1 suspect.
That can't be true.
Look, darling, I don't want to scare you. I don't want to get you any more nervous than you are, but it is true. We're Donovan's prime suspects. And unless the cops come up with somebody else to hang that murder rap on, we're going to stay their prime suspects.
No, that is not fair.
No, it ain't. But it's the way the cops operate, darling.
Okay, then we got to do something, Billy Joe.
There's only one thing we can do here. There's only one thing, Elena. We got to tell the truth. And if we do that, there's a chance the cops are going to come up with the real suspect sooner or later.
Who do you think is the real suspect, Billy Joe? I mean, who do you think killed Chris?
Jenny, I checked those cellar doors, and I can't figure out how that happened.
It was an accident, that's all. I didn't open the door wide enough, and the wind blew it shut. That's it.
Yeah, but it shouldn't have happened. You shouldn't have been locked down there like that.
It's over now, Jeb. Please, stop worrying about it.
I just don't want it to ever happen again.
It won't happen to me, because I'll never go down there again.
You know, I'm going to put some new doors on the cellar, so just to make sure, you know, safe and everything.
That would make me feel a lot better if you did that.
Okay.
Listen, you must be tired. Why don't you get some sleep?
No, I got to go to town.
Well, what could you possibly want to go to Houston for?
Because Elaine is in trouble.
What kind of trouble?
She went to talk to her boss at the chicken coop, and she found him on the floor in the office, dead.
How awful.
And I know, he was murdered.
Oh, Jeb.
You know, so between, you know, when she found Bernie's Stokes' body in the trailer and this, I mean, she must be really shook up.
Maybe she should come out to the ranch and spend a few days here. You think she'd like that?
I don't know. I'll ask her.
Hi, Courtney.
I gotta get to town. See.
Mrs. Wheeler still isn't back yet.
If you don't mind, I'd like to wait.
Oh, no. Go right ahead. Make yourself to home. I think there's a recent issue of a conservative periodical.
Vivian.
lying around in one of these.
Could we talk?
Oh, I would love to, excepting I got a lot of things to do in the kitchen.
Honey, what's going on here?
Nothing too interesting. I'll be cleaning the kitchen cabinets over the sink.
You know perfectly well what I'm talking about. Now, you're a nervous wreck, and I don't think it has anything to do with the kitchen cabinets.
I'm not nervous, Mrs. Decker. I don't know why you say I'm nervous.
Where's Iris?
I can't tell you that.
You told me on the phone that you didn't know.
Well, I know, but I can't tell you.
Now, Vivian, Iris and I are very good friends.
I know that, but I still cannot tell you.
Honey,
I
I'm worried about her. Is she all right?
I'm fine, Rena.
What's going on between you and Jeb? He seemed awfully anxious to get out of here just now. You two haven't fought, have you?
I gave him his ring back.
Why?
Because it was an engagement ring.
There is nothing binding about an engagement ring,
Yes,
Courtney.
there is. It's a promise that you're going to get married, and I don't know if I want to marry Jeb. Not just yet, anyway.
Jeb is very patient.
Yes, I know. He'd wait forever if he thought I'd marry him, but... Well, I just want things to go on the way they were.
No commitment?
No commitment.
Do you think that's very fair to Jeb?
No, it's not. But for me to marry him just to please him, well, that isn't very fair to either one of us.
Do you love him?
Yes. But not enough, I guess.
I'm sorry. I know how very much Jeb loves you.
Jenny, you know something? What you really need is some rest. And if you would just go upstairs and get some sleep, not only would you make her very happy, but your doctor will drive herself back to the clinic.
Well, you go ahead, because I really would like to stay out here for a little while longer.
Ryan's still here, you know.
Ryan? I thought he left some time ago.
Well, he tried, but Steve talked him into staying for lunch.
Steve is very fond of Ryan.
And Steve's very hard to say no to.
Yes, I guess he is.
You know, if you'd like, I can suggest that I drive Ryan back to town with me. Unless you want to see him again.
No. No, I don't want to see Ryan again. It's just too difficult for both of us.
I don't know who killed Chris or Bernie.
Well, you don't think that I did, do you?
Well, of course you didn't. Now, how could you even ask me something like that?
Well, you don't seem to think that I'm telling you the truth about Chris Shaw.
I'll believe you, darling. It's just I don't want to take any chances. We've got to have an airtight alibi, or the cops are going to come gunning for us.
Yeah, well, if you don't believe my story, the police are never going to believe it. So what are we going to do?
The main thing is not to panic, darling. If we start running scared, we're just going to draw attention to ourselves.
Yeah, but I am scared.
But you can't let it show. You got to act like nothing has happened.
I don't think I can do that, Billy Joe.
Sure you can. We got to go into the chicken coop and do our job just like nothing's wrong at all.
No, I am not going back to the chicken coop. I don't want to set foot in the chicken coop.
Elena, I'm not asking you to go in there and sit in Chris's office. I'm asking you to do what you do better than anything else. I'm asking you to go in there and sing your little heart out.
I can't.
Well, sure you can.
No, look, that's easy for you to say. You did not find the body, Billy Joe.
Look, darling, I am sympathetic. I've got a good idea of what you're going through, and I know it ain't easy. But, honey, you got to do this. If you really want this career, if you want to be that superstar that we talked about, then this is something you're just going to have to do.
Look, Billy Joe, I know you think that you understand, but you don't understand what's going on inside of me, Billy Joe.
Look, darling, you'll get over it just like you do it every night. You get over your stage fright just before performance. You'll do it.
I don't think so, Billy Joe.
Now, look. Remember, you didn't want to go back to Bernie's trailer when Bernie died, but you did it.
No, this is different, Billy Joe.
Now, how's it different, huh?
Look, it's just, I don't know. I'm feeling so alone. I'm feeling so frightened all the time.
Darling, come on. You're not alone. You got me, and you got Nita, and you got Ricky, and you got all those people out there in the audience. You got all of them. They're all there for you, darling. Really. They come back there every night just so you can put a little sunshine in their lives. They need you, darling. They need you. And you can't ever be alone. You can't ever be alone when you need it.
Why am I feeling so alone?
Do you think the Astros can win the Western Division again this year?
Well, I don't know. Season's just started, but the team looks pretty solid.
I think so.
You know, I've seen your name in the sport pages this year.
Only down in small print.
The track team looks like it's doing real good this year, and so are you.
I'd like to come in first sometime.
Well, you doing your best?
I guess so.
That's all that matters.
Not to my coach. He just wants to win.
Hey, look, Steve, now, everybody wants to win. So, if everybody does their best, then everybody does win, right?
That's what my mom says. Have you taken any trips around the world lately?
No, I've been staying right here in Houston lately. I hear your dad got a medal.
He's a hero.
Hey, you're a hero, too. You rescued your mother, right?
So did you.
Sure was happy to see her.
She held me so tight I thought she'd smother me.
Well, how you two guys doing?
Fine.
Good.
Where's Mom?
She's out on the front porch.
Well, I thought you went upstairs to bed.
Well, she wanted to stay outside a little longer.
I don't blame her.
Come on, let's go talk with her.
Wait. I thought you were going upstairs to take a nap.
I will when Mom does. Come on, let's go talk to her.
No. I better be getting back to town.
Ryan has to get some sleep, too, honey.
Okay, but you have to say goodbye to Mom. She won't like it if you don't. Come on, let's go.
Steve, wait a minute. You know, you never showed me that solar energy music box that you made for the science fair.
I didn't?
No, you didn't. And the sun is out right now, so why don't you go get it and you can show me how it works.
Okay, but you come too.
Okay, cowboy. I'm a-coming. Lead the way, huh?
Now, where have you been?
I've been out.
You look terrible.
I didn't sleep well last night. That dreadful storm kept me awake.
Well, it must have kept Vivian awake, too, because she looks even worse than you do today. Where's Alex?
He's in Dallas at a business meeting.
Was he in Dallas last night?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, he was.
Iris, if you've done something, Daddy will defend you.
Are you sure you're going to be all right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes, okay?
Talk to me, Bernie Bear. Tell me that I don't need those pills to get through this mess. If Chris hadn't gotten killed, then he would have given me those pills. How did I ever get myself into this mess? I wish I knew who killed Chris and Bernie. I am so afraid that maybe Billy Joe or I will be next. Maybe it's somebody who's after everybody connected with the coup. You're a magic bear. You're supposed to protect us. It's got to have something to do with that money Bernie was flashing around. Oh, if only you could talk. Little Bernie Bear. That was just about the nicest thing that Bernie ever did. And then Bernie went and got killed.
You look sad. Just playing my song again. How's the record doing?
Billy just says that it's going all right.
Then cheer up.
I wish I could.
Listen, things are gonna get better, okay? I know it's real rough on you right now.
Cheb, you don't know.
No, I do know. I read the papers. It's a pretty lousy situation, but... Elena, you see, these things have a way of working themselves out, you know? Look at all the good things that you got coming up in your life.
Yeah. I hope you're right.
I am. I know I am. You gonna do a show tonight?
Yeah, I didn't want to, but Billy Joe says that I have to.
Well, he's right, because that's the best thing. You throw yourself into your work like that, and it's good therapy.
You really think so?
I do, yeah, I do. You gotta keep yourself busy. That way you don't think about all this stuff that's happening to you. I'm trying to stay busy myself right now, too.
Why? Nita told me that you had given Courtney a ring. I would think that everything was going really well for you now.
She gave back to me.
Why?
Because she's not ready to get married right now.
I'm really sorry, Cheb.
Yeah, well. So you see, look, we're in the same boat now, you know? Maybe we can help each other out.
Hey, Mom, Ryan came to say goodbye. You two wait here, and I'll go get the music box.
Yeah, Steve talked me into having lunch with him.
Courtney told me.
Thought you were going upstairs to bed.
Oh, I just can't seem to get enough fresh air, sunshine.
Well, I sure understand. You know, everybody feels pretty terrible about not thinking about the cellar.
No one's been down there in a long time. We made it off limits to Steve a couple years ago.
Why'd you go down there anyway?
To get some strawberry preserves for Barrett. He talked about them before he left on his trip.
You did it for Barrett, huh?
Yes. We also talked about making that into a clubhouse for Steve.
Jenny, I'd give anything if I could have kept you from having that experience. If anything had happened to you, or our baby,
It's over now. The baby and I are just fine. I thought about you a lot last night.
Rena, I did not kill Christopher Shaw. I loathe the man, but I did not kill him.
Then why are you in such a state?
Well, I told you the storm last night.
I don't believe you.
I've always been frightened of thunder.
You're in some kind of trouble.
Rena, I can't discuss it. I've involved you in enough of my problems.
One more isn't going to matter. Iris, I'm your friend.
Darling, I'm very grateful to you for offering to loan me the $250,000. And I'm sorry if I caused you a problem with your parents.
You're not going to be needing the money now, are you?
No, it won't be necessary.
Is there any way the police can connect you to Chris Shaw?
No, I don't think so.
Do you have any idea who the killer is?
Well, any number of people, I should think. I mean, a two-bit hoodlum like that, he must have made many enemies.
Oh, Paige must be very happy.
Paige?
Honey, she's the reason you're being blackmailed in the first place, or have you forgotten? Now what's wrong?
Nothing. Nothing, really. I just wish you'd excuse me, Rena. I suddenly find that I'm very tired.
I want to help you, Iris.
Yes, I know. But there's really nothing you can do. At least not now.
Will you please tell me if there is something I can do?
Yes, of course I will. Don't worry about me, Rena. I'll be just fine.
Oh.
Mrs. Wheeler, what's wrong?
Vivian, the film. The porno film that Paige made for Chris Shaw. Where is that film?
Ryan, I'm more convinced than ever that I've got to make a go of this marriage with Barrett.
Ginny, did you consider leaving Barrett?
Yes, I thought about it, but I just can't.
Sure you can if that's what you want to.
Ryan, I'll never really know the hell that Barrett endured in that prison camp. Not knowing if you're ever going to see the sunlight again or breathe fresh air. Ryan, it's a terrible feeling. And Barrett went through it for 5 years. I could hardly go through it down there for 5 more minutes. I thought I was going out of my mind.
Look, you went through an awful emotional experience.
I know it sounds ridiculous for me to compare what I went through to Barrett's experience.
No, that's not ridiculous at all.
I've got to try to help Barrett. I've got to be more patient and more understanding. Maybe I have the key. Maybe this time I can really help him. I have to try.
And if you fail, will you admit that?
I don't intend to fail.
Okay, I'll wait. I'm gonna wait for you, no matter how long it takes. I'll always be where you can reach me if you need me, okay? Well, it sure was nice seeing Steve again and spending some time with him again.
Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Texas.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the porno film my daughter-in-law made. It was in Chris Shaw's possession at the time he was killed.
Where is it now?
I don't know.
Do you think maybe the police have gotten hold of it?
Oh, if they have, it will be the end of us all. Vivian, have John bring the car around again.
Where are you going?
We're going to find out where that film is.
Can I come?
No!
Look, I'm sorry, Vicky. I know I should have called you sooner. Yeah, I'm feeling better, but I don't think I'm going to make it into work today. You talked to Stryker? Yeah, he told me about his home remedy. If I'm not feeling any better, I'll give him a call, definitely. Thanks a lot.
Damn it, Dennis. Where are you? I have to talk to you.
You wiped your feet, Steve?
Yes, Grandma, I did.
What's going on out there? Is Courtney's car still stuck in the mud?
No, we finally got it out with the tractor.
Well, that's a relief.
Courtney's a terrific doctor, but she sure can't drive.
Oh, honey. She was the third person to get stuck in that ditch. We've had so much rain lately, nobody's used to driving in the mud anymore.
Where's Mom and Ryan?
Out on the porch.
I have something that I want to talk to Mom and Ryan
Steve. Don't you think it would be a good idea if you went out back and picked a lot of flowers? It would be nice to have them in here to put all around for your mother to look at, don't you think?
Later, I want to talk to Mom and Ryan. It sure is nice having Ryan around, isn't it?
I'm going to wait for you, Ginny, no matter how long it takes.
Ryan.
And I'll always be where you can reach me if you need me or want to see me. Sure was nice seeing Steve again and spending some time with him again. Barrett?
Barry, I didn't realize
What the
that
hell are you doing in my house?
Did you see Kate or Jeb?
No. I parked the car in the stable and walked up to check the pond. Why?
Ginny had a real bad experience. She got locked in the storm cellar yesterday afternoon and nobody found her till this morning.
What?
Jeb called Ryan to help look for me. He and Steve were the ones who finally found me.
Are you all right? So you thought you'd take advantage of the situation, is that it, Ryan? You just step in and make the most of it.
Oh, Barrett, please.
Why don't you calm down?
I don't want to hear anything that you have to say.
Ginny's been through enough already, and I don't want to see her upset anymore.
Oh, you don't want to see her upset? Well, then you'd better leave, Connor. Now.
Texas, starring Beverly McKinsey.
Barrett, please listen to me.
Ginny, why don't you go upstairs and lie down? I'll get things straight with Barrett.
That's a wonderful idea. You go get some rest.
Not unless the two of you promise me there won't be a knockdown, drag-out fight.
No, we're just going to talk things out, I promise.
Barrett? Okay, I'll go upstairs.
So, you're a big hero, are you?
No, I just happened to be around at the right time. Steve heard a noise coming from the cellar, and then he
And then
came
I
and got
suppose
me.
you and Ginny had a tearful reunion.
Yes, as a matter of fact, we did.
And I suppose that you took it from there.
Well, I don't know what that means. What does
it mean? It means that you asked Ginny to leave me, didn't you? You asked her to go off with you.
No, Barrett, I didn't ask her that.
Don't pull that innocent act on me, Connor. I know you love my wife. And I'm warning you. Stay away from her.
Steve, why don't you go over to Max and Rena's cabin?
Rena went to town, so she won't be back till dark.
How do you know that?
Max told me.
Where is he?
I think he went to the cabin to get some sleep.
You could use a nap, too. Why don't you go on up? You were up all night.
What's going on that you don't want me to know about?
Nothing's going on, honey.
Then why are you trying to get rid of me? Is there some reason I shouldn't go talk to Mom and Ryan?
I think they're having a private conversation. It wouldn't be polite to interrupt them.
I guess you're right as always, Grandma.
What's Grandma right about, honey?
Oh, I was just talking about Ryan. He hasn't left yet, has he?
No. Why?
Well, I have something I have to ask him.
Just 1 second, Steve, okay? Ryan's out on the porch talking to your father.
When did Barry get back?
About 10 minutes ago.
Oh, I didn't see his car anywhere or hear him drive up.
I guess he parked down by the stable and walked up. He said he wanted to check the water level in the pond.
Is everything all right?
Everything's fine.
I'm busy.
Dennis, I have to talk to you again. I have to ask you about last night.
I don't want to talk about last
Well, no, I'm
night.
sure you
All
don't.
I want to
I
do is
don't
be left
either.
alone. Can't you understand
Well,
that?
of course I can, darling, but there's something we haven't thought about, and it won't wait. Dennis, where is the film?
What?
The film that started all this. The film that Paige made.
What about it?
Darling, we have to find that film. Now, I'm sure that Chris Shaw must have hidden it somewhere. And if the police find it before we do, it will be a disaster for all of us. The whole sordid mess will explode right in our faces.
Look, I don't know where the film is.
He didn't give you any idea where
Why
it might
should
be?
he give me an idea?
Well, you were in the office with him. You must have talked about the film. That's the reason you went there.
What makes you so sure the police haven't already found the film?
Because it would be on the front page of every newspaper in the country if they had. Alex Wheeler's daughter-in-law stars in porno film.
Paige would be a complete mess if that happened.
How can you think about her after what she's done to you?
It's not her fault that Chris got her to make that film and took advantage of her.
I cannot believe what you're saying. The woman made a pornographic movie and you sit there and defend her.
There is something you don't understand, Mom.
Well, obviously.
I didn't leave Paige because she made that film. I left her because she lied to me.
All right. All right, let's forget Paige. The important thing now is that film. You have to think back to what happened last night. If we can figure out where the film is, we might be able to get to it before the police do.
Look, Mom, I was drunk. I was in a rage.
I know
I don't
that.
remember anything.
You have to try.
I don't want to try.
You have to, Dennis. Think. Now, can't you remember anything that Chris Shaw said to you?
I just want to forget everything.
What is it? What are you thinking?
I remember.
Remember what?
The porno film. Yeah. Yeah. It was right there in Chris Shaw's office.
Ginny's determined to make her marriage to you work, and I have to respect that.
You expect me to believe that?
That's right, I do. I want to ask one thing.
You have no right to ask anything of me.
I'm asking you to believe that Ginny really wants to stay with you, Barry. She doesn't want to leave you. Now, if you don't believe that, you don't have a chance in hell of making her happy.
I don't need any lectures from
I'm not
you.
lecturing.
That's how it sounded.
I'm telling you the truth.
You're not telling me anything, Connor. Go back to World Oil and tend to your own business.
No, you have to understand what happened between me and Ginny. Now, she thought you were dead. So she had to get on with her life, and that happened to include falling in love. Come on, Barrett, you can't blame anybody for that. Certainly not me or Ginny.
You made her give up on me.
Barrett, she waited for over 5 years for you. Now, if you thought that Ginny could never come back to you, wouldn't you try to start a new life for yourself and for Steve and find somebody who could love and care for you?
Ginny is the only woman I've ever loved. Or ever will love.
She loves you enough to stay with you. Please, Barrett, don't make her life miserable with your jealousy.
Have you finished? Because if you have, I'd like you to leave now.
No, there's just one more thing. I'm going to stay out of your lives because I promised Ginny I would. But I'm only going to keep that promise just as long as you make her happy. Now, if you can't, I'm going to do everything in my power to take her away from you.
You just try to take Ginny away from me, Ryan Connor.
I thought Dad was going to be gone 2 more days.
Well, he finished with his business early and he decided to come home. Steve, come and sit down over here with me. I want to talk to you. Come on, honey. I know you've been bothered by your father's behavior lately. But we talked everything over, and I think it's going to be much better now.
You were in love with Mr. Connor, weren't you?
Yes. I was going to marry Ryan because I thought your father was dead. But then your dad came home, so my first obligation is to him.
Do you love Dad?
I loved him for 12 years. That's a long time. Now he's going through a very rough period, and it's up to us to help him through it.
I don't think I can help him if he keeps snapping at me.
I don't think that's going to happen anymore. Give him another chance, okay?
Things were going just great when he wasn't here, until you got locked in the storm cellar.
Things will be great again. I promise.
Hello, Steve.
Hello, Dad.
I have got a surprise for you. What? Aren't you going to ask me what it is?
Yeah,
I bought you a horse.
that's great, Dad. Thanks.
I got some heifers, too. Maybe they can be friends with Morning Glory.
Oh, that'd be wonderful, huh?
You know, I think I'm going to check up on Max.
All right, honey, but don't be gone too long, all right?
See you later, Dad.
Goodbye, son. He's not very happy to see me, is he?
No. He doesn't know how to respond to you anymore. He's confused by your behavior towards him.
I know. It's my fault, Ginny. My moods have been so unstable lately. But that's all gonna change. I promise. I promise I'm gonna make both of you happy.
Are you certain you saw the film in Chris's office? Dennis?
I saw the film.
Where was it?
Chris said he had some publicity pictures of Paige that he wanted to show me.
The same ones he showed me.
Yeah. He said they were previews of coming attractions.
He was taunting you.
Well, he went to open the safe. The film was in the safe.
Are you sure?
He said he wanted to keep it in a safe place for me. That's when I got mad, and I went for him, and...
Oh. It must have been terrible for you. You know, it's possible that the police haven't been able to open the safe yet.
The safe was open, Mom. If I killed Chris, then the safe would have been open when you were there.
Don't ever say that again. Don't ever say you killed that
Mom,
man.
I was the only one there.
It could have been an accident. You've said yourself you can't remember what happened.
But I remember the film.
Dennis, is it possible that you closed the safe?
Wait a minute. I remember something else. I went to grab the film in the safe. I think
And Chris pushed me back. Why can't I remember?
It will come back, Dennis.
The safe was open. The police had to have found that film. Why didn't they say something about it?
Maybe the safe wasn't opened. Maybe you didn't fight with Chris. You see, that's why you can't talk to the police. Memory plays tricks. Don't think about it anymore, Dennis. There's nothing you can do right now.
Did you and Ryan argue?
No. And once I got over the shock of seeing him here, I came to my senses. I realized that if he could have been helpful in locating you, then he should have been called.
I hope you told him that.
I did. I guess what I reacted to most was his being here when I wasn't. I felt terrible about that. And Ryan was the most handy one to take it out on. But I apologized to him, and I must say he was very gracious about it.
Oh, I'm glad.
I certainly wouldn't blame the man for being worried about you. I mean, after all, he does love you.
Barry, I feel so foolish getting myself locked up in that cellar.
Could have happened to anyone, honey. It was just an accident. It's best if you forget all about it.
Could you help me to do that?
I'm afraid I can't, sweetheart. If I could, I'd be in much better shape myself.
But Barrett, you were locked up for 5 years. I don't know how you stood it.
After 5 hours, it doesn't make much difference, does it?
No.
I won't leave you alone again. Certainly not until after our baby is born. And I'm going to do my best to help you forget this terrible experience you've had.
Hi, Rena.
Oh, am I happy to see you. Oh, Barrett.
Hello, Rena.
I thought you wouldn't be home for a couple of days.
Well, I was able to get my business out of the way sooner than I thought I would, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, that was quite an experience Jenny went through, wasn't it? How you feeling?
I'm fine now, thanks.
Well, you must be worn out. I think I'll go and...
No, please, I'd rather visit with you.
Where's Grandma, do you know?
I just ran into her outside. She was picking flowers in the side yard.
I haven't seen her since I got back, so I better pay my respects. If you'll excuse me.
Kate says you were quite a help, especially with Steve. I don't know how I'd ever thank you for that, Rena.
Don't try. We were happy to do what we could. Max told me that Steve and Ryan found you.
Yes.
Was Ryan still here when Barrett got back home?
Yes, he was.
Wow. That must have caused a few fireworks.
Well, I guess it did at first, but from what I understand, they were quite civil to each other.
What a relief.
I think that trip did Barrett a world of good. He's the man I married 10 years ago. And I think the man who came back from Cambodia is gone forever.
Max? Max, are you there? Max?
Hey, Steve.
Oh, I woke you up. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. It was time to get up anyway. Come on in. What's the matter? Nothing's wrong. I mean, your mother's all right, isn't she?
Yeah, she's fine.
Well, you seem kind of upset about something.
No, I just came out to see how you're doing.
Well, I'm kind of thirsty, I'll tell you that. How about you? You want a soda?
Sure.
Okay. So, how's everything going up the house?
Pretty good. My dad got back.
Yeah? Bet he was real upset to find out that your mom was locked up in that cellar all night long.
He didn't seem too upset to me.
Well, maybe he just didn't want to worry her any more than he had to. So, how'd his trip go?
Pretty good, I guess. He bought me a horse.
He did? Hey, that's terrific.
Yeah. I guess he's just trying to make up to me for the way he's been acting.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that, is there?
No, I guess not.
Give him a chance, Steve. I mean, let him know that there's no hard feelings on your part. Maybe it'll help. I mean, it's worth a try, isn't it?
Yeah. Maybe it's a good idea.
Is Dennis certain he saw that film in Mr. Shaw's office?
Under the circumstances, Dennis can't be certain about anything.
Do you think it was there?
Yes, I do.
Then what happened to it?
I suppose we have to assume that the police have the film in their possession and that they're waiting to take action.
That it might lead them straight to Dennis.
We're going to have to see that that doesn't happen.
What are you going to do?
Well, I haven't quite figured it out yet, but I will. I'll get that for you.
Okay, Mrs. Wheeler, I'll be in the kitchen if you need anything.
Okay. Oh, what do you want?
I'm looking for Dennis. I tried to call him at the apartment, but there wasn't any answer, and KVIK told me that he wouldn't be in today.
I see.
Look, would you just please tell me where I can find Dennis, and I won't take any more of your time, Iris.
On the contrary, Paige, I was just about to give you a call. Come in, I'd like to talk to you.
Look, Iris, all I want to know is where I can find Dennis. I tried the apartment, I tried...
You told me that.
Do you know where he is?
Why do you want to know?
Because I'm worried about him.
Why?
Because I went to the apartment yesterday to pick up a few things, and he was there, and he'd been drinking.
Can you blame him?
He was so upset. I have never seen him like that, and he said certain things.
What things?
Just things I'd rather not say.
Paige,
all right, threats.
What kind of threats?
Against Chris. Now, I know he was drunk, and he was angry, but I'm afraid for him.
What are you trying to say?
I'm afraid that he killed Chris.
Don't ever say that
No,
again.
I don't think
if you
he did it
really
on
care for Dennis, as you claim to, you will never repeat what you have just said. Not to me, not to anyone.
I'm worried about him.
Dennis is no longer your concern.
He is my concern. I love him.
He's through with you. Haven't you gotten that through your head yet? He left you.
I love him, and he is still my husband, whether you like that or not, Iris.
That won't be the case much longer. And if you know what's good for you, you won't try to get in touch with him again.
Your threats don't bother me. They never have, and they never will.
I made a promise to separate you and my son. I've been rather successful in that respect, wouldn't you say?
And at what price?
Dennis will be fine. I'll see to that.
So, you're not going to tell me where I can find him?
Nope. And if I were you, I wouldn't try to see him. Leave town, Paige, while there's still time.
I know I have hurt Dennis, Iris. But I still think he cares about me.
Perhaps. But what little feeling he might still have for you will disappear once you're arrested.
You haven't told me how your trip was, Barry.
Hot and dusty. It's nice to be home again.
Much nicer here since Jenny's been found.
Yes, I feel terrible not being here when that all happened, Grandma. I might have thought about looking in the cellar.
No one's been down there in so long it never occurred to me to suggest looking. You know, Ginny and I put that off limits to Steve a couple of years ago. And it's not a place you'd normally think about.
Well, it's over now. Everything's going to be just fine again. I just wish that you'd called me when she disappeared.
Barry, I did try to call.
I never got the message.
I never got a number. The Laredo operator said there was no such place as a 10-star Inn.
Grandma, that's not where I was staying. I told you I was at Jim Barr's Inn.
Oh, Barry, I misunderstood. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I'm home now. Everything's going to be just fine.
Did you see Steve at the cabin?
I haven't been there, Jenny. I went into town to do some shopping, and then I came here on my way home.
Oh, I see.
How is Steve handling his father being back?
Not too well.
But you said that Barry was doing so much better now. Isn't he going to make an effort to grow closer to Steve?
Well, that's what I'm hoping for.
You can't expect it to happen overnight, honey. Eventually, everything will be just fine between them.
I hope Steve gives Barrett another chance.
Well, Max and I will help out any way we can.
I know you will, Rena. Thank you for that.
Ginny, is Barrett going to close off the cellar so that no one else can go down there?
Well, we plan to turn it into a clubhouse for Steve. That's one of the reasons I went down there. And to get some strawberry preserves for Barrett.
Do you think the place can be made safe?
I'll have to let Jeb and Barrett decide that.
I don't think I want a cellar when Max and I get around to building our house.
You think that'll be sometime soon?
Depends on Max. Now, if I can talk him into the possibility of drilling for oil, it'll be soon.
Oh, boy.
He promised me he would think about it, Ginny. At least he didn't give me a no flat off.
Max has always had the same attitude that Kate does about drilling for oil. You know what that is.
Yes. But I think Max is coming around. Of course, it would just be my luck to talk him into it, and then they would discover that there's no oil on our land.
There was a survey made several years ago.
Are you sure?
I saw it yesterday.
Where?
In the cellar. I was going through some papers and I came across it. I'm sure that Max's property is included in that survey.
Do you think it's still there?
Well, I suppose so, unless something's happened to it between yesterday and today.
Ginny, let's go and get it. Oh, honey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't dream of going back down in that cellar again.
But would you hold the door for me if I went down?
Yes. That much I can do.
Oh!
I just hope you haven't ruined your shoes, Rena.
Oh, I don't think so. But it would be worth it if I did. I'm really grateful to you for showing me that survey.
Oh, I should never have given you that or told you about it, let alone given it to you. Considering the way Kate Marshall feels about drilling for oil around here, I would really be in hot water if she found out what I did.
Well, now listen, if you don't want to get involved, I'll just have my daddy hire someone to do a survey.
No, that's silly. Take the survey. Just don't tell Kate where you got it.
Promise.
Oh, boy. Suddenly I'm so tired.
Look, why don't I go and I'll let you rest, okay?
All right, and if my son's up at your cabin, will you send him home, please?
You bet.
Thanks for everything, Rena.
Oh, Ginny, thank you. I'm so glad that Barry is better now and that your marriage is back on the right track.
I'm happy about that, too.
You may have given me the key to making my marriage work. Yippee! Bye.
Come in. Ryan. I thought you'd be sleeping.
Yeah, I'm on my way home now. Look, I just want to find out if Ginny's going to be all right.
Is that why you came out here?
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, you were out there. You could see for yourself.
Yeah, but I wanted to find out from you if her experience would affect the baby in any way.
If anything were to happen, it would have happened by now.
Are you sure about that?
Ryan, I'm trying to give you my professional opinion. As far as I know, everything's okay.
Okay. I just wanted to find out what you thought.
So, how is everything out there now? Back to normal?
Well, I guess you could say that. Barrett came home.
While you were there?
That's right.
What happened?
Well, things got a little tense there for a while, but I think we straightened things out.
Well, it seems to me that Barrett's gotten over any jealousy he had for you and Jenny.
What makes you think that?
Well, when you ran into each other at the hospital, the time that Jenny was thrown from the horse.
Yeah.
You were very pleasant to each other, weren't you?
Yeah, I guess Barrett tried.
Well, then he's over it.
But what about his experience in Cambodia? Is he over that?
No. No, Ryan, I don't think he'll ever get over that entirely. Being held prisoner in a camp can do terrible things to a man.
Yeah, we all know how that affected Elliot Carrington, how he went off the deep end and tried to kill Alex. Is Barrett capable of the same thing?
Yeah, I know how much Elena wants a singing career, but she's mixed up with the wrong kind of people. Ricky, I'm scared for her, aren't you? Look, in the last 3 weeks, there have been 2 murders, and Elena knew both the victims. I know they weren't close friends of hers, but they were business associates at Bernie Stokes and Chris Shaw at that place, what do you call it, the Coop. Right. So how do we know who won't be next? Yeah, I understand, but I don't agree with it. Well, you keep me posted. All right. Goodbye.
Who was that on the telephone, honey?
It was Ricky.
About Elena?
Yeah, I saw this article about Chris Shaw's murder in the paper. I don't know. Every time I turn around, that girl seems to be in more trouble.
Did Ricky have any more information about the murder?
Not much.
How's Elena?
Scared.
I would be, too. Maybe she should come out to the ranch for a week or two, huh?
Yeah, that's what Ricky suggested. But she says she's got to stay in town.
Because of her work, right?
Yeah. She says she's got to rehearse and be available for an interview whenever this record gets released, and I don't know what else. I just wish that she would get out of this business before something happens to her.
You don't really think that she's in danger now?
As long as she's involved with this Billy Joe Wright and his hoodlums, yeah, I sure do think she is.
Well, now, wait a minute. Billy Joe has worked very hard to get her career started, Max.
Well, I don't care how hard Billy Joe Wright has worked. It's the people that he and Elena have to associate with that's a problem.
Well, if you're so opposed to the people that are helping her, why don't you manage her career?
Rena, what the devil are you talking about?
I'm talking about helping your sister.
I don't know the first thing about the record business or singing careers.
If she needs more demo records, we can put up the money for her, then we'll find a suitable manager.
I don't have that kind of money.
I do. And you could, too. If you just agree to let World Oil drill out here in our land.
Arrested? For what? I have done nothing wrong, Iris. Aside from making a pornographic movie. You really think that's doing nothing wrong? But no one knows about that now but you and Dennis and Elliot. And Chris. But of course he's dead. Have the police called you in for questioning yet?
And what makes you think the police want to see me?
Drop the innocent act page. We all read the papers. Chris Shaw was murdered and he was your friend.
And what makes you think that the police know that?
Well, you know they have a way of finding
All
out
right.
those things.
All right. They did come to see me today.
When?
This morning.
What did they say?
They asked me a lot of questions. They were all very general. How long have you known Chris? Where did you know him? That sort of thing.
How did they connect you to him?
They found my name in his address book.
Did they say anything about the film?
They don't know anything about the film, Iris.
Don't they?
Well, they didn't mention it to me, and there was nothing in the papers about a film.
Well, I imagine they don't want to tip their hands. They're probably waiting until they have more information or until they've had a chance to view the film, see what it is and who's in it.
And, what if Chris destroyed it?
Something he hoped to make $1 million on. No, that's not very likely, my dear. No, I'm quite certain that the police have the film in their possession. I'm telling you, Paige, the best thing for you to do is leave town. Leave the country, even.
Yes, that would make you happy, wouldn't it?
Don't you understand this situation? You mustn't talk to the police. And right now, you're free to go anywhere you like.
Iris, isn't it enough that Dennis and I have separated?
No. No, it isn't. I made you an offer once. A financial offer. I would like you to know it still stands.
You're the second person to ask me that question. Jeb said something about it to me last week. Now, is there something going on that I don't know about?
I was asking about Barrett because, well, I've been kind of involved with Elliot lately.
In what way?
It's about this trip he's made to Washington. You see, he went down there to talk to a man who escaped from the same prison camp as Barrett and Elliot. So naturally, I've been thinking about their experience in Cambodia.
And naturally, you've been wondering what the possibilities are of Barrett going off the deep end like Elliot?
That's right. They both went through the same experience.
But they're two different men, Ryan. Now, I don't know all the facts about Elliot's case, so I can't make any judgment on him, but I do know about Barry.
And what do you think about Barrett?
I think that he's fairly stable and will remain that way.
What do you mean by stable?
Look, there's always the possibility that something might trigger a response in him that will set him off, but I don't think that'll happen.
Is there any guarantee?
Of course not. Ryan, Barrett's doing a lot better than anyone expected.
Yeah. But maybe Barrett's keeping his problems to himself.
I don't think so. I just think he's been very fortunate. He hasn't had to deal with a lot of problems that other men might have. He's home with people he loves. He enjoys running the ranch. And it's very peaceful and quiet out there. Now, those are all things running in his favor. I don't think that there's any reason for undue concern.
Think of the kind of life that Elena could have if you got behind her, Max.
Get behind her with what? Money I don't have?
Money you could have.
Rena.
Max, now you listen to me. Elena wouldn't have to sing in honky-tonks to make money to live. She could have nice clothes. She could go to Nashville. She could...
Yeah, and we could build a real big house for her to stay in when she's back here from Houston, right?
We could build a comfortable house for you and me to live in. Now, what's so terrible about that?
Nothing. But I'm just not ready to start building so soon.
Max, I'm 80% sure that there's oil on this property.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Why not?
Because I've been giving that whole idea a lot of thought like I promised, and I'm not going to do it.
Why can't you?
Because I'm a rancher, not an oil man, and it goes against everything I believed in since I was a little boy.
You've grown up, Max. It's silly to cling to old-fashioned notions.
Now, there's nothing old-fashioned or childish about holding on to your beliefs.
That depends on what they are.
Well, I believe in the land. I believe in protecting it and taking care of it and having some land to give to your kids so they can give it to their children.
You could leave your kids half of Texas if you strike oil.
Then you'd want me to drill another well. No, there'd be no end to it.
I'm talking about a couple of oil wells, maybe 3.
And I'm talking about the destruction of the land. Rena, I'm sorry. I just won't do it.
And you said you were going to compromise with me.
I want to compromise, but not this way. The price is too high.
I am not leaving Houston. If you love Dennis as you say you do, you will reconsider my offer and get back to me.
There is no reason for me to get back to you, Iris.
It's your funeral.
I am leaving now, Iris.
If you stay in Houston, all you will manage to do is drag Dennis down with you. Is that what you want?
Mrs. Wheeler, Miss Carrington.
Hello, Vivi. Think about what I said.
What did Mrs. Carrington want?
Oh, she was looking for Dennis. He's not answering his phone. I have to get her out of town before the police go to her about that film. If she tells them about being blackmailed and about Dennis's being so upset, they'll put 2 and 2 together. They will know he had a motive.
The film.
What about it?
That's what I came to tell you about. I just saw a report on the news about Mr. Shaw's murder, just now.
What did they say?
According to the news, Mr. Shaw's safe was open. Everything in it was gone. So they figured that the motive for this killing was robbery.
Would you repeat what you just said?
The police think that the motive...
No, about the safe.
It was empty.
But Dennis told me this afternoon that he saw the film in the safe.
Are you sure?
Vivian, someone has that film. And it's not the police.
Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Texas.